Hello everyone. Have you ever driven down the road and seen people's litter on the side? Or have you ever seen somebody's trash can so filled that they had to get a second trash can because they couldn't close their lid? I definitely have. I actually watched an inspiring video by Rob Greenfield on YouTube called 30 Days of Wearing My Trash. And in this video, he lives like an average American, but he puts all his trash on his body and wears it for 30 days. Now the funniest part about that video is that most of those things that were on his body could have been recycled. Now I know for sure back then if I were to do that, I definitely would be just as cumbersome as him. I would have so much stuff all around me. But now I'm an avid recycler and I do my best to keep my trash to a minimum. Now today I would like to talk to you about 3 things that you could recycle and reuse at home. Now this one, plastic, paper, and also cans. Now you're probably wondering, why do I need to do this? I already recycle stuff and put it in the blue trash can like outside. I don't need to be recycling this at home. But the truth is, yes you do. Everybody should actually be doing this because it helps with the environment and it helps to reuse our trash and not leave such a big impact on the earth. Now the first thing I would like to talk about is plastic. Now these plastic bottles, I like to take them home from work or school or wherever I go, and I like to rewash them and I like to disinfect them and use them for drinking water. Another thing I like to use is these Ziploc bags. Now I wash them just the same way as I do water bottles, and I can reuse them for my food, for my nuts, for even screws. Really anything you think of, you could probably put it in the Ziploc bag or reuse it. Another thing I like to do is put my plants in plastic cups that I get from when I go out to eat. Another thing you could use is for little projects that kids love to do. You can just go ahead and use this cup and they can do the little projects in there, and then after that rinse it out, put it in the recycle bin, so you don't have to use any of your plates. You can just go ahead and use that and recycle it for the next time. And next I want to talk about paper. 500,000 trees are cut down to make the Sunday paper every week. Now that's a pretty hefty penny to pay for this paper. Now a couple things you could do with this paper at home and reuse it is to use it as fire starter. Now if you don't know what fire starter is, pretty cool, check it out on YouTube. You could put it into little fire logs and you could burn it in a little camping when you're going out to camping. And you get to reuse it eco-friendly. Now another thing that you could use for paper is you could use it as a thing to pick up your spills. Now for sure I use this a lot when I'm at home. If I don't have no paper towels or I don't have any napkins, I use these and they work just as well, in my opinion. Another thing you could use for paper is using it as scrap paper to write things down, and as soon as you're done, you could put it in the recycle bin. The next thing I would like to talk about is cans. Now this can is used in, this can is the most recycled thing out of all these products on the table. Yet $1 billion worth of cans are thrown away in landfills by Americans, when the only way we could have prevented this was to just recycle it. So a couple ways you could reuse it at home is you could use it as a washer, or you could do DIY projects with it. It's pretty cool. This tin can at home, I like to use it to put my old grease in, or just put little screws or anything in here. It's pretty awesome. And the final thing with this can, the coolest part to me, is that not only can you recycle this, but you can also get some money for it. If you take it into the recycle store, they give you some money for it. It's pretty cool. Now, all these 3 things I talked to you about, plastic, paper, and cans, are just the tip of the iceberg on things you can recycle. And honestly, I'm still trying to learn and get better at recycling. Now, I try my best to help the environment and do my part and try to take things from work or school or at my home, recycle the things I have or use them. Now the one question I would like you to take with you after this presentation is thinking this: what do you do for your environment? Thank you.